Welcome to Marketing 247, Consumer Behavior, offered by Harper College. My name is Dr. George Mochocki. This course is in conjunction with Blackboard Course Management System. Last week, you did very well on the various YouTubes I had you all look. You all did very good on the posting. You all came up with different ideas. You're beginning to see how you start uncovering, remember in earlier chapters, that onion of the consumer behavior, little peels, little different things. So you're learning more and more about consumer behavior. Now, this week is going to be an extension of what we did last week. You're going to be covering two chapters. You're going to be covering chapters 11 on attitudes and attitudes and influencing attitudes. From a market perspective, once I understand the consumer's attitudes, how do I, as a marketer, influence those attitudes? The next one is on self concepts and lifestyle. Now we're going to look at the self concepts and different lifestyle again in the consumer. If I know different lifestyles, look at the end, the last 5 minutes, I'll go over through the chapters a little bit more. So what do we know? This week, you're going to do the quiz. Now, the quiz is still going to be 10 questions per chapters, but the thing that you're going to find out with the quiz that I'm going to be doing this week is just a little bit different. What I want to do is, you're still going to have 10 two chapters, so that's 20 questions, but I want to give you a few extra points to help those bring your overall grade, since you're doing well on the quizzes. So 20 questions, but each question is worth 1.5 points, so you'll get 30 points on this one. The next thing we're going to have is a form. Now, since this is an online class, before you go into the forum, you're going to go into your weekly, what do you call it, your weekly module, right? So you're going to go in a weekly module. Your week 6 will be open tomorrow by 9 a.m. the earliest. It'll say internet exercises are required to complete this week's form. So you're going to click on there, and what you're going to have, there's going to be three internet sites. I checked the internet sites so they're active. The first one is SBI's Val's website. So you're going to go into this website and you're going to complete the survey. Complete one for yourself. You get your parents to complete one, fine, or kind of think how your parents would complete it, and then compare the two. Okay, so you have that one. The next one you're going to do on the Nelson's website. But that's a good kind of website because it's going to give you some information on the PRIMS approach to the lifestyle segment. So click on that one, and what you're going to do is use my concept maps when you go into the PRIMS approach theory. It's included in Blackboard. Even though you have the second tier, it'll be just enough information for you to understand or print out the PowerPoint. And so you're going to look at that, and then I want you, after you do it, give me a reflection within the form. And the last one, the one I really want you to focus in on, I want you to go into Val's, but this one is an international. Go into the Japanese website and report. Look, even though keep an open mind. See how a marketer is trying to understand a Japanese consumer, even though there's a lot of universal things, a lot of stimuli, a lot of things that we could take from American or different cultures, but this is strictly for the Japanese culture. And see if you can understand that, and look at that, and try to do more of the discussion on this one. Man, I didn't understand this. Your take. Remember, you're an American looking at Japanese, trying to understand how you look at yourself as going to open up some product or your research topic you're going to be talking about, and now you want to hit the Japanese market. What do you'd want to do different than you would do for the Western or European market? Okay, so those are the things you're going to have to go back. So you do those first, and then what you're going to do is then you're going to go into the forms. Now I created two forms. What I have is two forms in there. Hang on a second. The one form basically is your main form, and the main form is going to be on. Remember, you have to go into and look at all three of the internet sites, and in the subject area, you'll say, "I visit this site, and here's my input. I visit this site." You do another subject thread in this site, or if somebody else already had a site before you visited it or posted it, just add on to her. But what I still want to understand, so your first post is going to be by Tuesday. Remember, sometimes you're not going to be able to get everyone in there by Tuesday, but you put your first post on Tuesday, and then you'll do 2 or 3 other posts maybe on Wednesday or later on that night when somebody else comes in, and then during the week. Remember, I'm looking for 9 posts, total 9 posts, minimum. the more the better, because and I'm looking at quantity, not just hey, that's a good idea, or I didn't think of something. Answer the questions and try to start having a dialogue in there. This is how you're going to learn about the chapter. Remember, the forums are to help you learn, other than reading information. And now you have this information, but you want to share it and see if other people within your virtual team or within this classroom, or if you'd be in a face-to-face classroom, how would I respond? You have the advantages because you're doing it in a written format, coming back to that, okay? So you have that, you have the overview, you do the internet, you go into the forums. Now there's a second forum. Now the second forum, because remember, after this week's homework is all done and we finish by Saturday, the following week is spring break. And spring break, there's no classroom. What I'm willing to do is this form that you're going to start now. If you got any questions on the course in general, or if you have any questions on your research topic, I want you to start bouncing ideas off of other students. I could leave this forum open into the spring, even though you're not required to do anything else. So if you want to talk to other classmates to help out, let me know within the forums when you post it. Should I extend this within the spring break? Otherwise, then we'll start again after the spring break, because get as much as you can on your research paper. So because we only have a few more classes, a few more weeks after that, and then it's going to be going 1, 2, 3, and so this way you have most of your research paper done. You do the quizzes, you do the forums, and then you'll be all done. You'll be wrapping up, and you really understand how to consume more things. Okay, so now at the ending, now chapter 11, real quickly. Chapter, all right, so easy forum, so you have to reply. So this week you're going to have the forums are worth 25 points. 1 is 20. The minor forum, all you have to say is I have no questions, or I have a question. But since it's a small group, at least look what other students have, because this will help you in your own research paper. But if they post it in a forum, I won't assume that everyone's read it and already understand it. So now chapter 11, attitude and influencing. So you're going to look at who's the initiator, what's the attitude, how do how do emotions play, that you worked on that. What's the cognitive beliefs again, behavior attitudes. Look at the SAM, and look at the component theory or concept that they're talking about, and try to look at the consistency. What is the consistency, or a lack of consistency? How do we, what how do attitudes influence different brands, and how do I formulate an attitude? Remember, that's part of marketing. I formulate an attitude about my brand. It's a good brand, or it does a superior performance, and I do that through advertising. I do that through testimonials. I do that through a lot of other things. So that's chapter 11. Real good reading. Like I said, this whole book, I'm really happy with the book. The author is doing an excellent job. He gives you everything that's current. So if you are going to go into marketing, and this is your field, but I assume most of you are, consumer behavior is one that is going to make you or break you. I would keep this book. It's a real good investment. Okay, the next one that we're going to be talking about is a chapter 11. Chapter 12 is on lifestyle. Now, lifestyle, you're looking at the self-concept. What's my self-concept, my own view? So I'm looking at my how I view myself, how other people view myself. What's my extended things? How I want people to view myself. All that makes a big difference, because when I'm selling products, if I want to be perceived as a certain type of individual, I might be selling a haircut. I might be selling glasses, so you look a little more attractive, or you look a little more studious, or you look a little more professional. So all those things on how I feel. If I have low self-esteem because I'm wearing glasses, so now contacts. Say, hey, you don't want to wear glasses? Look at contacts. You could have that what do you call it, that natural look. Now, I've tried contacts, just off that, because that's what got me to try them, and I realized the contact messed up my long-term vision. I still can get used to it, but a lot of people enjoy contacts. Or you have eye surgery, or laser surgery. So all those things are working on where I am, what I want to be, or what I want other people to be, and the other thing is how people perceive me. So that's on the lifestyle. Now, when I'm looking at the different lifestyle, and if you look at the Porsche, you look at the one specific lifestyle scheme, and look how Porsche broke it down by Top Guns, Elites, Proud Patriots, Bon Voyage, and Fantasies. So when I'm looking at different things, after you understand your consumers, and now I have, even if I give them some of the names like Porsche did, and a certain percentage, it gives me something. So when I hear the name in my mind, I could visualize. All words, everything you're doing is a visualization, a visual. You visualize a concept. You visualize me being like a risk taker or a fun type of individual. Those are all important. Now the last one that I want you really focusing on the Japanese is the geo lifestyle for what do you call it, the international styles. If I'm looking at international, you look at the strivers, you look at the devotees, you look at the anti-risk individual, you look at the inmates, and you look at the fun seeker. And what's surprised, you really think that Americans would be the fun seeker, but if you look at this, basically the fun seekers are people from more developed Asian countries. It's not the U.S. Are we all out of fun? But other countries. So if you're looking at if I'm bringing the fun seekers to the United States to, let's say, the casinos, how do I attract them? I should understand something about their market. I should understand how they, as a consumer, behave. Even though I'm going to have Japanese, I'm going to have Japanese consultants. I, as the person who's running all of this, make sure I'm getting my money's worth. All right. So that's it for this week. You got 55 points. You have two forums, and one's the main one that you're going to do all the talking back and forth. Those are like 9, 12 polls. Maybe 3 different times, and check the rubrics out. The rubrics are excellent, so at least you know where the points are at. And the other one is the quizzes. It's still 20 questions, only worth 1.5 points. So those are really going to be real good. And let's see, so you got the forums and the quizzes. So you've got, what do you call it, 40, you got 55 points this week. So everything's going to be working out well. You're doing good. And I probably won't talk to you till after spring break. Enjoy your spring break and have a good time. And, not too good. Don't forget something. And then in between, when you need to relax and everything else, it's a good time to do your research paper. Or if you can't sleep, it's a good time to do your researching. But let me know what you want that form open. Again, welcome to week 6, covering chapters 11 on attitudes and chapter 12 on lifestyles, offered at Harper College. My name is Dr. George Mochocki. This is Marketing 247 in conjunction with Blackboard Course Management System. Goodbye. Bye. Okay.